Hello, everyone. My name is Kayla Johnson, and today we will be talking about phonological and phonemic awareness. We will talk about what they are. We will talk about how they relate to literacy development in young children. We will also be talking about early reading development and how it's related to early literacy skills. And finally, I will be giving suggestions on activities that can be used in small groups at school or individually at home to teach early literacy skills. Okay, let's start with the definitions. Phonological awareness is our first focus. Phonological awareness is considered the strongest prediction of children's reading ability in the future. It is the ability to hear and recognize sounds in words or in a sentence and makes it possible for children to blend letter sounds and word parts together to create words. Once a child is able to recognize those sounds in a sentence or word, the next step is to break down those sounds from a sentence to a word and from words to syllables. When a child is able to recognize this, then the focus becomes phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is understanding that words are made up of sounds and being able to recognize and manipulate sounds in order to make a word. For example, identifying the beginning sounds of words such as apple. Children should know that apple starts with the A, which is the A sound, the A sound. So with phonemic awareness, it's about knowing what letters make what sounds and how to put those sounds together in order to produce a word. Another example is something I remember doing with my son in pre-K, and they call it dibbles. This is breaking down words into letter sounds. For example, bug, B-U-G. The student sounds out each letter, b, g, and blend them together. Bug. This is a simple and easy way to sound out letters in order to blend them together to make words. This helps children with reading development and advances them to be able to become a more fluent reader in the future. Phonological awareness and phonemic awareness both relate to literacy development. Phonological awareness consists of words, syllables, and rhymes, while phonemic awareness deals with identification and blending. Both of these make up the alphabetical principle, which is a critical attribute of reading, because it all deals with recognizing sounds, beginning, middle, and ending sounds of words, which all contribute to reading development. How early reading development is related to literacy skills. Reading development is related to many early reading skills such as print concept, letter naming, vocabulary, phonological awareness, listening and speaking, and also comprehension. Print concept is what we read and how we read it. It can include being able to read from the left to the right, knowing to read from the top to the bottom, and also knowing how to use the return swipe, which is as you complete a sentence, knowing to return to the beginning of the left hand side on the next sentence, and so on and so forth. Print concept can also include knowing the cover, the back, and the spine of the book, as well as the corresponding pictures or illustrations that might be in the book. These pictures and illustrations, children rely on them as context clues as they hear or as they look at a book. As they're looking at the words, they look at the pictures. As they listen to a book being read to them, they look at the pictures as the clues on what the text is about. Now, letter naming. Letter naming is identifying letters individually. And before children are able to associate sounds with letters, they must first learn each letter individually, which at the end I will give an activity that can be used in school or at home for letter naming. For vocabulary, which is another critical and fundamental part of the reading process, vocabulary refers to words that we must understand in order to communicate effectively. And there are four different types of vocab. They are listening, which words we need to know and understand what we hear. There are speaking, which are words we use to speak. Reading, which are words we use to understand how to read. And writing, which are words we use to understand what we write. Okay, and all of these skills are critical as these skills all work together to improve reading development. As far as comprehension is the ability to acquire meaning from a text, the ability to know what is important and know and become aware of what we are reading. Now, on to the activities I have for each of these different skills. For print concept, I thought about writing a random letter, a random word, or a sentence on strips of paper, handing them out randomly to the students. And after we review on what a letter is, a word is, and a sentence, which uh, which a word is a group of letters, letting the children know that a word is a group of letters and that a sentence is a group of words. After each child has a strip, they they categorize it as a word, show it to the class, and then categorize it as a letter, a word, or a sentence. And for a modification for this, for those who are not understanding fully, you could just break the larger group down into smaller groups or even one-on-one to, further explain a letter, a word, or a sentence. Now, for letter naming, in my class we have like these Jenga blocks. So I was thinking you could just write or tape a random letter on it. And then as the child chooses one, show it to the class or to the small group, get it correct, and we are now building a tower of Jenga blocks. I just feel like that's a great way to keep the children entertained while also learning, also having fun. Okay, as far as vocabulary words, an activity could be fishing for vocabulary words. In my class, we have these toy fishing poles, and on the carpet, I would just put random words like monthly. We have different topics that we talk about monthly. Like this month, we are doing exercise study. Last month, we did the bread study. So with this activity, you could just take different words that you've been talking about in your class, whether it's from seasons or holidays that's coming up, just vocabulary words that you've been talking about, and place them randomly on the floor or their definition randomly on the floor. As a child fishes, they pick up the word or the definition. The teacher reads it out loud, and then they answer what the word means or answer what the definition means to the class. And it's a fun way, like I said, a fun way of learning. They will all be entertained, ready for their turn, excited about their turn coming up, and excited about getting it right in front of their teachers and their peers. As far as phonological awareness, we will use our letter rug. Our rug has letters on it, and each child would stand on a letter randomly, say the letter along with what sound the letter makes. And like that's another simple, straight to the point activity that can also be fun. You can also add music, clapping, and anything just to keep the children entertained and occupied. As far as comprehension, story time is a great way to learn comprehension. As you are reading a story to your children, as you're reading, you can ask them questions. At the end, you can ask them questions. I'm always sure to show pictures so the children can draw what's going on in the story more. If they're not exactly understanding what you're reading, they can use the pictures as context clues. And also at the end, you can show them pictures to help them draw out what they remember about the story. So that's it for my activities, and I hope that everyone enjoyed what I had to say about phonological and phonemic awareness, and everybody enjoyed the activities that I suggested, and maybe you can try them at home or at school with your class. Thank you.